Hello and welcome to another Genshin Impact theory. Wait, what was that? Hey, what's happening? Hey! Not today. Welcome to my first ever Honkai Star Rail video. This isn't going to be a theory video though. This is basically a recap of everything we know so far about the Aeons, or better yet, this is mainly a video for those who would like to know more about the Aeons but didn't want to read. As always, I will use information available in the game, but I will also share a few theories here and there, and they are not to be considered the official lore of the game. Having said that, let's start this recap with the playable paths and their respective Aeons. The Path of Destruction is characterized by recklessness, anger, and destructive behavior, and is ruled by the Aeon Nanook, and he sure does hit the gym, I guess. Nanook is the youngest Aeon, born from the destruction of the star system Idrila brought by the Swarm, the offspring of the deceased Aeon Tayzzyronth. Nanook is depicted as a human male with dark skin, golden eyes, and golden cracks all over their body. They are the leader of the Antimatter Legion, but there's also the Elation gang that follow them and dream to serve them one day. The only problem with the Elation gang is that Nanook despises them and their actions. Interestingly, the Stellarons may be related to Nanook, but there's not enough proof to confirm this. One thing's for certain, Stellarons destroy worlds, and right after a Stellaron appears, the Antimatter Legion and Nanook follow. Lastly, Nanook in the Inuit religion is the master of bears and was himself a polar bear. He was worshipped by the hunters because he decided whether a hunt would have been successful or not. The Path of the Hunt is characterized by determination, ruthlessness, and tenacity, and it's ruled by the Aeon Lan, whose purpose is to hunt down the undead beings created by Yaoshi the Abundance. Lan, the Rainbow Arbiter, cares about the humans, and they appear for the first time around the year 3400 of the star calendar. The name Lan in the Xianqiu language means an unpredictable fog, while in Chinese Lan means mist, and they're depicted as something like a centaur. The Aeon Lan is hard to see because of their abnormal speed, but they do leave healing rainbow-colored traces wherever they go. Lan wasn't born a god, he was a mortal that led the Xianqiu against Heliobi, a species of formless energy creatures that can absorb human emotion. They tried to capture the Xianqiu with a red microstar. Lan led an expedition to destroy the red star, which upon success turned into a black hole, bringing the war to an end. The Heliobi leader, the Flint Emperor, was then imprisoned and turned into a power source for the Xianqiu Chuming. Later, the people of the Xianqiu searched for and found Yaoshi the Abundance to receive the gift of immortality. So Yaoshi planted the Ambrosial Arbor and the people of the Xianqiu Luofu gained endless lifespan. But Lan disagreed and they shot the Ambrosial Arbor. The people were enraged but also astonished by Lan's resolve, so they sentenced Lan with hibernation. When the denizens of Abundance invaded though, Lan was awakened and they persuaded the Flint Emperor to help. The Flint Emperor would be allowed to possess Lan's physical body in exchange for the power of Heliobi. So Lan shot the Ambrosial Arbor with the sky-shattering Lux arrow, which severed the connection between the Luofu and the giant tree planet Multrasil, from which the denizens of Abundance, the Wing Weavers, came from. After Lan's death, they rose to Aeonhood and they became the Hunt. Lan's followers are mainly the Xianqiu Alliance, whose main goal is to eradicate the Abomination of Abundance. There also used to be the Galaxy Rangers, the upholders of justice, who followed and were blessed by the Hunt without really hating the Abundance, but they suddenly disappeared under unknown circumstances. Talking about the Path of the Abundance, it is characterized by selflessness, altruism, and healing, and it's ruled by the Aeon Yaoshi. They are the nurturer of lives and the god of eternal paradise, who wants to ensure the perpetual existence of life because they despise death and illnesses. Despite that, those who are blessed with their immortality often suffer pains and fates worse than death. These consequences are called Mara, or the long life curse by the Xianqiu, and it turns people into beasts. When Yaoshi planted the Ambrosial Arbor on the Xianqiu Luofu, the people ate its fruits and gained immortality, but it came with a price. They eventually turn into monsters. It seems that the long-lived Xianqiu natives will fall into madness and mutate into monsters, which honestly sounds like erosion from Genshin Impact. Anyway, because of the Mara, Yaoshi gained the title of Plague's Author. It is unclear whether Yaoshi is good or evil since they never took anyone's life directly and willingly, nor if they actually know the consequences of their blessing. There's even a chance that the path they're stuck with prevents them from knowing the results of their actions. Yaoshi is depicted as a woman with 6 arms and with eyes in an arm, a leg and a hand, surrounded by branches and thorns produced from her body. And the name Yaoshi means medicine master in Chinese, and it refers to Yao Shifu, the medicine Buddha. Yaoshi's followers are the denizens of abundance, aka the abominations of abundance. They were people of different civilizations on the verge of collapse because of wars and plagues, until Yaoshi arrived, planted a seed that transformed their whole worlds, freeing the people from pain and suffering, which also led to the end of wars and fear. Since then, the denizens traveled across the universe to make Yaoshi's name known. Other followers are the Elixir Seekers, who are people from different worlds who set out on journeys across the universe to find Yaoshi and acquire immortality. And the Disciple of Sanctus Medicus, a secret society on the Xianqiu Luofu, loyal to Yaoshi that want to bring the Alliance on the path of the abundance. The path of erudition is characterized by thinking, logic and strategy, and is ruled by the Aeons Nous. They were an astral computer rumored to have been created by the founder of the Genius Society, Xander Wang Kuwabara, and later became an Aeon. Nous is so mysterious that no one knows anything about them at all. All we know is that they are trying to calculate the essence and solution of the universe, and eventually they will summon the greatest minds, the Genius Society, to examine and discuss the results. Nous, differently from the other Aeons, doesn't give answers, they only give questions. They are depicted as a giant technological device, a huge futuristic mega-computer basically. There are 2 main factions that follow Nous, the Genius Society and the Intelligentsia Guild. They are basically the same thing, but think of them as colleges. The Genius Society is a private exclusive college, while the Intelligentsia Guild is more like a community college that accepts anyone who wants to learn. The name Nous comes from Gnosticism. According to Valentinus, there are 30 hypostatic ideas, or Aeons, which are emanations of the primordial father of the Phos. And among these hypostases, there's Nous, the mind. I've already talked about this hypostasis in 2 of my Genshin Impact theory videos as well, since one of them, Sophia, may be relevant to Genshin Impact. The path of harmony is characterized by understanding, support and cooperation, and is ruled by the Aeon Xipe of 1,000 Faces. Xipe is composed of multiple entities that preach the joy of human harmony and unity and chant songs of joy and happiness. Xipe's followers are called the family. The people who were blessed by this Aeon, although from different planets and civilizations, live as brothers and sisters, singing of unity and dreaming of a peaceful universe. Xipe is depicted as a woman with 3 faces, and her skin is made of puzzle pieces. The name Xipe is a reference to the Aztec mythology, specifically to the god of life, death, rebirth, agriculture, and a lot of other things called Xipetotec. Once again, I've already talked about the Aztecs in my video about Natlan, since the Pyro Archon is probably based on the god Huitzilopochtli. The path of Nihility is characterized by laziness, exhaustion, and meaningless behavior, and it's ruled by the Aeon... is it 9th? IX? I read online that Himeko called them IX, so I guess I'll go with that. Anyway, I don't even know what to say about IX, to be honest. They are a peaceful Aeon that thinks there's no purpose to the universe, to paths, and to life. They believe that the fate of the multiverse is nothingness, and as a consequence, it's worthless. Lastly, they can make morals lose all reason and thought. Some people from the Annihilation gang tried to be the first humans to terminate an Aeon, and they were even helped by HooH the Elation, because they thought it would have been fun. But those people simply disappeared when they tried to execute their plan. IX is depicted as something like a black hole with 2 eyes, I guess. For some reason they remind me of a slime though, and they're even kinda cute. IX's followers are the Doctors of Chaos. Their purpose is to prove to IX that existence is not nothing, because they want to free IX's soul from the depths of the void. It is an impossible endeavor, especially for humans, but they really don't care. The other followers are called Device IX, but they're so unknown that it's not even sure they exist. The last playable path is the Preservation, characterized by patience, sacrifice and defense, ruled by Qlipoth. Qlipoth is the oldest known Aeon, and their main goal is to protect the worlds by isolating them from each other, and to do so they created the subspace crystalline barrier. The truth behind Qlipoth's birth, identity and purpose has been kept hidden by the International Peace Corporation, so not much is known, and the little that is known may even be a lie. We literally just know that Qlipoth always wants to build a wall for some reason, and that the Dusk Wars ended with their birth. What are the Dusk Wars? Good question, and I would like an answer as well. As far as I've understood, before the Dusk Wars, the universe was ruled by the Leviathans. Then the Aeons appeared and the Dusk Wars began, which ended with the birth of Qlipoth and with the defeat of the Leviathans. Qlipoth's birth is also the year 0 of the Ember Era calendar used by the IPC. Every time Qlipoth swings their hammer during construction, an Ember Era ends and a new one begins. These intervals are unpredictable though, so Ember Eras are random and they can range between 76 to 240 Trailblaze years, which is the calendar created on Akivili's home planet and the most similar to ours. Qlipoth is depicted as a huge amber rock being, and the name Qlipoth or Qlipoth comes from the Kabbalah and are the representation of evil spiritual forces, the opposite of the Sephiroth, the emanation or attributes of God. Qlipoth has two main followers: the Interastral Peace Corporation that facilitates business between planets, which in theory goes against Qlipoth's desire to isolate the planets. The IPC was created to supply construction materials to Qlipoth to build the Celestial Comet Wall. Don't ask what it is, I don't know. Then, I guess millennia later, they started trading other materials like fruits, so the actual IPC was born, the only trade business in the galaxy. The IPC has existed for more than 800 Ember Eras, and they've always been supplying construction materials to Qlipoth. The other followers are the Architects from Yarilo 6 but also other planets. They build walls just like their Aeon, and on Yarilo 6 their walls protected Belobog from freezing over. The Architects also think that Qlipoth is building walls over walls in the galaxy because they know that some kind of calamity is about to come. The playable paths, though, are not the only paths and Aeons that exist in the universe of Honkai Star Rail. Aha is the Aeon of the Elation, and their main goal is joy. They are depicted as a strange being with multiple masks and items, and it almost doesn't make sense. Aha loves to prank both mortals and Aeons, but their pranks sometimes go a little bit too far and they end up becoming catastrophes. Aha's ascension story talks about them climbing the highest branch of the Tree of Existence and witnessing a child falling and crying, which amused them so much that their laughs are still echoing throughout the universe to this day. Their followers are the Masked Fools, basically an extremely joyful version of the Fatui that sometimes cause havoc. A potential member of the Masked Fools is Sampo, but it's not 100% sure. The other followers are the Mourning Actors, who actually hate Aha and ride a gondola across the universe to perform tragedies. Because Aha knows that joy and sadness are two sides of the same coin, they bless the Mourning Actors to help them cross the universe. Fuli is the Aeon of Remembrance, and their goal is to record everything so that nothing gets forgotten when the time comes for the universe to be reborn. Fuli suddenly came into existence out of nowhere, but it felt as if they've always been there, and they appear whenever something important is about to happen so that they can record it. They rarely show themselves to mortals, and their last appearance was during the retirement speech of the founder of the Interastral Peace Corporation, Louis Fleming. Fuli suddenly appeared before him, they looked each other in the eyes, and they disappeared. So did Fleming after he walked off the stage. Fuli's followers are the Memo Keepers of the Garden of Recollection, who shed their physical bodies to be able to visit different worlds and obtain and store memories for their master. Fuli is depicted as a humanoid being carved out of crystal with no facial features, wearing a diadem with a curtain of pearls, and the name Fuli comes from the Shenxiao sect of Taoism, according to which Fuli is a supreme deity. HooH is the Aeon of the Equilibrium, and they basically patiently wait for existence and nothingness to attain perfect balance in the universe. Their goal is indeed balance and stability in perpetuity. In every language, HooH's name is a palindrome, a word that reads the same backwards as forwards, and in Chinese, HooH means mutually. Mythus is the Aeon of the Enigmata, and no one knows what they even look like. Their main idea is that things can't be understood and that true infinity is enigmatic. They basically know that they don't know and want people to realize that they too are unable to truly know anything at all. Mythus' enemy is the certainty that Nous the Erudition brings. Their followers are the Riddlers, who enjoy messing with languages and texts, and the History Fictionologists, who fabricate, obscure, and destroy the histories of the worlds they visit, because a definitive past would leave only a rigid path forward instead of countless possibilities. Oroboros is the Aeon of the Voracity, a mix of an Aeon and of a Leviathan with the only goal to devour worlds, so that life can go back to the darkness from which it came from. The name Oroboros is an ancient symbol depicting a serpent or a dragon eating its own tail. It was later adopted by Gnosticism and alchemy, taking on the meaning of eternity and the soul of the world. Terminus is the Aeon of the Finality, and they move backward in time, murmuring a prophecy that is destined to be fulfilled. Terminus has two followers, the Omen Vanguards, who draw prophecies from Terminus's obscure words, and the Creed Exequi, who just wish to meet Terminus. Typically, when different Aeons have similar paths, they end up absorbing each other, but for some reason, Nanook the Destruction is coexistent with Terminus. The name comes from the Roman religion, and it was the god of boundary markers. There is a marker that identifies the start, or the end according to how you see it, of a land boundary. In Chinese instead, the Aeon is called Mowang, which means king of the end. Ena was the Aeon of the Order, and was absorbed by Xipe the Harmony because their paths were similar and collided. The official name is Tai, and it means Great Oneness or Great Unity, and it was the name of the supreme god of heaven of the Han dynasty between 202 BC and 220 AD. Idrila was the Aeon of the Beauty, and their ideal was the pure goodness of the material world sensed and defined by intelligent life forms, that is, beauty. Sadly, out of nowhere, Idrila died and their divine form was scattered across the universe. The mirror holders, Idrila's followers, are traveling across the universe to gather the Aeon's fragments, believing that Idrila will come back to life. Other followers are the Knights of Beauty, extremely self-disciplined knights that are held in low regard by other warriors of the galaxy. The Knights of Beauty don't believe in the fall of Idrila and they go back and forth across the universe. The name Idrila may be a reference to Indrani, the queen of the Devas in Hinduism, who was described as beautiful, proud and kind, but I'm not too sure about it. Long was the Aeon of the Permanence. They were depicted as a giant long, a dragon, which is also the translation of their name, but they died long ago, leaving behind their descendants, the Long Scions, aka the Vidyadhara like Bai Lu. They can be found in the Xianzhou Alliance and they are humanoid beings with draconic features. The Vidyadhara are unable to have offsprings, but they undergo a form of reincarnation. They live for centuries, then they molt, repair their bodies, and hatch anew from eggs, wiping their memories in the process. Tayzzyronth, the Imperator Insectorum, the Sand King and creator of the Swarm Disaster, was the Aeon of the Propagation. They became an Aeon after Lan the Permanent's death, when they took over Long's path and created a new one, the Propagation, but they didn't live long since they were annihilated by other stronger Aeons. Tayzzyronth was the last member of the Coleoptera and they were depicted as a grub. Their ideal was a desire born from loneliness, reproduction. After Tayzzyronth's death, all that was left behind was the swarm, countless flying four-winged insects that self-replicate and destroy worlds after worlds, turning what they eat into new members of the swarm. All that's left of these Aeons after their death are masterless paths, but considering Tayzzyronth's story, it seems that other beings can take over those paths, maybe create a new one from them and ascend to Aeonhood. The last Aeon we need to talk about is Akivili, the Aeon of the Trailblaze. The name Akivili is said to come from the Latin word aquili, meaning of the north wind, but it's wrong. First of all, of the north wind would be Aquilonis, not Aquili, which actually means of the dark. If I had to guess, and I have little to no knowledge about the topic, the name Akivili actually sounds more like an Aztec god. And after reading an endless list of Aztec gods' names, I found Isquimili, the god of frost, ice, cold, winter, sin, punishment, and human misery. He used to be the Lord of the Dawn and of the Morning Star, but he was punished by Tonatiuh and transformed into the god of coldness. You might be asking, why are you saying that? Well, we do know someone who has no recollection of her past, who was found in an ice cube and carries the symbol of the Nameless Honor. Anyway, Akivili's story begins when they decided to leave their world, Pegana, to explore the outer reaches of the universe in order to find an endpoint of the Tree of Existence. Sadly, they died because of an accident we still know nothing about. According to Kafka, only Nos probably knows what happened to them since they know everything. Akivili's followers are the Nameless, people who embarked on journeys on the Express created by Akivili, to explore the galaxy thanks to the Star Trek that Akivili also created to link the isolated worlds. Akivili liked interacting with humans and had fun with them on the Express, and even after Akivili's death, the Nameless kept carrying on their desire to connect the universe by traveling among the stars, until they had to stop because of the damage the Stellarons caused to the Star Rail. That is until a young Himeko managed to repair it and resume its operation. She then met Welt and his unnamed companion, who eventually left them. Pom-Pom also appeared on the Express, but no one can actually remember when that even happened. Just like Fuli, by the way. Later they met Dan Heng, who had been exiled from the Xianqiu Luofu and was persecuted by Blade. When he saved a ship that was traveling with the Astral Express, Himeko asked him to join the Nameless, so he became their guard and archivist. Then the Astral Express found a large chunk of Six-Face ice with a girl inside. The Nameless thawed the ice and they realized that the girl had amnesia. Because of that, she decided to call herself March 7th, the day she was found. Finally, Kafka found the Stellaron that Herta secretly owned. She awakened the Trailblazer and put the Stellaron inside him. She then left the Trailblazer on the Herta space station for the Nameless to find, and that is how the story began. And that's it, I hope you liked the video. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, and if you're interested in Honkai Star Rail related videos and or Genshin Impact Theory videos, consider subscribing. If you want to know when I upload my next video or when I go live here on YouTube, then you might want to turn the notification bell on. I have to admit, I was very skeptical about Star Rail at the beginning, and if you were there during my first ever stream, you know. But as I kept playing, the game grew on me and now I really enjoy it. The Aeons are very interesting and they caught my attention ever since I learned that they existed in the game, so this video was gonna happen sooner or later. I don't really know when I'll make another Star Rail video, but I feel like there will be more soon. Anyway, thanks for watching and until next time, over and out.